Well, fuck. This is awkward. Looks like now you guys know my big dark secret. I'm a werewolf. So while Halloween might be over, it's still Halloween weekend, and so I decided to check out Netflix's new horror-esque comedy called Daybreak. It tells the story of a post-apocalyptic world, and it follows the character of Josh Wheeler, played by Colin Ford, as he's on this quest to find his girlfriend, Sam Dean, and while on this journey, he runs across characters like Angelica, who's a girl he used to babysit, and his former bully, now turned ally, Wesley. And they form an unlikely trio, and a bunch of other stuff happens on the way. So I came across this show because a friend of mine actually told me, like, hey, check out this show called Daybreak. I'm watching it. I'm really enjoying it. It deals with post-apocalyptic world, and it's a bunch of teenagers, and it's really funny. And of course, because she knows me very well, she's like, and there's a gay character in it, and he's not just there. He actually is involved in the storyline because she knows that I won't be satisfied, because just like Brain from Pinky and the Brain, until us gays achieve world domination. And so I decided to check it out. And the thing about this show that I found interesting is Matthew Broderick is in the show. And so because of that, they pay a lot of homages to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, in the fact that the main character, Josh, he speaks directly to the audience. He looks right into the camera. He breaks the fourth wall. And basically, just like Ferris Bueller did in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But the main difference is it's in a post-apocalyptic world. So if I was to describe the premise of the show, I would say Ferris Bueller meets Mad Max also meets Deadpool, with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. They even have a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference. Granted, it's of the original movie with Kristy Swanson and not Sarah Michelle Gellar, but it's still a Buffy reference. And so with that, because it was recommended, and it's usually my thing, like, I enjoy shows that deal with like the teen angst with a supernatural twist, like I just mentioned, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was a big fan of Vampire Diaries, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, etc. So going into the show, I thought I was gonna really enjoy it. But those first two episodes, I wasn't really feeling it that much. And so I almost tuned out, honestly, and I wasn't gonna watch anymore because I was like, okay, I watched two episodes. I'm not really feeling it. Like, yes, there were a lot of jokes thrown in those first two episodes. And the reason why I mentioned Deadpool in terms of what I feel like this show is mixed with is they have so much over-the-top comedy, and there's a lot of hilarious moments and interesting things that they do with the breaking of the fourth wall, besides the obvious just looking into the camera and speaking directly to the audience. I definitely laughed and enjoyed it, but the problem with the show is, specifically with the first two episodes, is following the character of Josh. Josh is your point of view character. Josh is the character that you're following. Josh is the lead of this show, and I wasn't really feeling his story. Like, he's not that compelling of a lead to me, and I don't necessarily mean that from an acting standpoint. It's just his story wasn't that interesting. I didn't really realize that until you get to episode 3, where you start focusing on other characters. That's when the show started to shine for me. Like, the thing about this show that really kept me invested were the side characters. They were way more interesting, and their stories were way more compelling, and I was way more invested in their storylines than I was with Josh. Josh's story was kind of boring. Like I mentioned before, he's basically looking for the love of his life in Sam Dean, the woman that he was with before the apocalypse. And yeah, there was some unexpected twists and turns with the Josh and Sam storyline, and it wasn't as straightforward as I'm making it sound, but compared to the other characters, I just found that story boring. Like, I feel like take any of the side characters and make them the lead, this show would have been better for it. Now, that's not to say I didn't enjoy the show. Like I said, once you start getting to episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not 8, but I'll get to that later, like, the show really started to fly for me because, again, you focused on all the other characters. And, like, there's a character in the show, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I feel like he should have been the main character because his story was way more involved in this world that they were building. And let me backtrack a little bit. In this post-apocalyptic world, only the teenagers survived. For whatever reason, all the adults in this world become zombies, or as they call them, ghoulies. And so because of that, you get all the teen angst where you get certain cliques, certain factions in this world, and they divide up the town. And the story takes place in California. So certain sections of California are cordoned off where it's like, this is the jocks territory, this is the cheerleaders territory, these are the smart kids territory, etc., etc. There's a character in this story that basically connects to all of them, and he really broadens and opens up the world. And not only that, he has way more of a connection to the villain of this show, and also every decision that he makes affects everybody else, and he has the most to lose and gain in this storyline. So it's like, why aren't you the main character? Like, you should be the main character. You're more interesting than who is actually the main character. And also with that, that's part of the reason why I said not episode 8. For the most part, once you get to episode 3 and on, it starts focusing on the side characters, and Josh kind of takes a back seat. But once you get to episode 8, that's when you get back to Josh and Sam's character front and center. Honestly, that was my least favorite episode because, again, I don't really care about his storyline. I don't care about these two characters. They're not that interesting, honestly. But with that said, because of the side characters, I enjoyed this show. I enjoyed the twists and turns. Some of them I didn't expect, like especially the reveal of who the main villain was. I was like, I should have saw that coming. I didn't see that coming, but it was so obvious. And I'm usually good at predicting stuff. That I didn't predict because I was like, there's no way. One of my favorite characters was Miss Crumble, played by Krista Rodriguez. I loved her character, and I can't wait to see more of her storyline unfold in season 2. Like, I'm way more interested in seeing a season 2 because of all the side characters, where the story goes from here, especially considering what happened at the end. And so I would say Daybreak season 1 on Netflix is a minor hit. So have you guys seen Daybreak? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out the channel. Or if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.